Fresh at all times. Evening, welcome to Dice Gods. My name is very quiet Hydra, briefly. Now not, now very noisy. How are we all? How is everybody? Hopefully a little bit more organised than I am this evening. Standard, let's be honest. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Oh, we're streaming at the moment. That's nice to see. All the stuff's up and working. This is lovely. Right, hang on. Hold everything, because I've got to post this everywhere and do stuff with it. My light's flickering to my left, because of course it is. I love the way it's my... Why is it my face? I don't know why it's my face tonight. It is my face. Oh dear, that's wrong. Post that there. Click that. There we go. Everything's starting to work. Everything's coming together. Everything's working. Another quality product. Link. Do. Publish. Ooh. And that's just gone to members. Never mind. I mean, that's free. Yeah. Just bear with me. I'm discombobulated this evening. Turning on the yes I do. Turning on everything and nothing working is very dramatic. That didn't work either. Let's get rid of that. Image. Mouse. Did that work? How is everybody anyway? I'm going to be there in a second. I'm right with you. Like totally at all times. Right, good. Bring the noise. Yeah, I know. In fact, I was thinking like a big neon sign behind me would be best, Chris. That would be peak. Engage with my audience. No. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting new buttons and stuff with YouTube because that's what it's like. Ah, hell, that's just going on. Heck with it. I was gonna post this all lots of different places and make it all really exciting, but I'm not going to. I'm all thrown out and discombobulated. Right. Yes, send it to everybody. Everybody on Discord just got bugged. You are welcome. On that colour? That's a better colour. We prefer that colour. That's nicer. Right, I think we are now in the room. The switch. So how is everybody today? How are we all doing? What is the latest with you beautiful people? The amount of blooming social media posts that you post, or you have to post, and rather than doing the thing, it's like, oh, did you want to do the thing? Or did you want to do something else? I think you wanted to do something else. No, I didn't. I wanted to do the thing. Why? What? Why are we having this conversation? I hit do the thing. Very frustrating. But that is just the world that we live in, as I say. Save that. And turn that on. That's good. We're not doing that. Right. Are we there? Right. Really, I'm honestly here. I am totally in the room, on board. Everything's great. So, oh my goodness me. Oh! Boom! Super chat for the win. Thank you, Chris. That's awesome. That's going to help with getting the sign. I need something in the background. I've had this feedback a lot. I need something in my background. I need to sort that out. I need something prettier. There is something over there. Now listen to this. Hang on. You hear that? I can't show it to you. I want to. I can't. We will soon. It'll be great. You'll love it. And then you'll probably be grumpy at me that I didn't show it to you before. And I'd love to, but I'm not allowed to. Anywho, how is everybody? What is the latest with you guys? How's your hobby been? Chris, that's very kind. That's incredibly kind. I want to do a thing. I'm going to do a super chat giveaway tonight again because I like doing that and it's fun. Posters. Yeah. I had some posters, but then I need to I don't know. There's thoughts. Should I partner with Displate? Not quite ready to sell my soul that much. Anywho, we have a lot. I haven't even written a thing tonight because I have so much stuff around me. I have a box down there that I'm going to show you the stuff of. I've got stuff over here that I'm going to show you. We're going to talk about last weekend. Had a tournament. That was nice. Upcoming tournaments. We're going to talk about other things that are coming on with the channel. And I have a presentation in 15 parts to you. It's really exciting. I have so much to talk about tonight. Seriously, we're going to be here till Wednesday. Oh, you know who I haven't told? I haven't bugged all my local guys. I haven't actually annoyed them with this. So I need to annoy them with this because them's the rules. It's kind of, if you really loved me, you'd join. If any of you are missing me. There we go. That's nice. There's Twitch, and there's, I think we're good. Hello. You got here in time. Hello, LARP. You young fiend, you get a shout out in the video that drops tonight for members. Tomorrow morning, we're doing tomorrow morning for everyone else on Moorcrow. You, LARPbeard, get name checked. Very briefly, I think you just get a LARP, but you get, you know. There we go. Mellow weekend. Ha. Your nose is blocked. That's always a delight. Tis the season to be snotty. Tra-la-la-la-la. Chew. Love it. But the stream motivated the painting itch. I have a habit of making people itchy. Tis a gift. Should get a cream. Would sort that out. Not going to. So yes. So you had a chilled one. You're on your way back from the gym. LARPbeard, I commend your exercise. I went into a gym today. It wasn't for me, but I went in there. It's amazing. They look exactly the same as when I was young and svelte. I am no longer, and I have no interest in being. I am now built for comfort, not speed, and I'm happy with this. I shouldn't be. I'm of an age where I should be slightly more concerned than I am. And we're working on that. We're working up the level of concern, and when that becomes alarm, then we're going to go to the gym again. But up until then, we're fine. So bravo you for doing the gym stuff. Definitely the way forward. I should. I'm well aware of the fact I should. Don't shame me. Why are you shaming me, LARPbeard? But yes, we have a lot to discuss. I have so... Did I get all the stuff done? I think I got all the stuff done. Yes, I did. I got that done. That... Ooh, that's not the right button. Don't push that button. That can go. Boop. Chris, don't join in. Don't. There are already fitness influencers in the gaming sphere. Granted, they're all 40k. Should I be the first Infinity fitness wargaming influencer? Curl those D20s. Curl them and release. You'd watch it. You know you would. I would. I just have enough lack of shame that I'd do it as well. I would. That's the thing. I would be funny. But I need to. I used to. I climb. I boulder. So, yeah, do all that. Multi-first pinches. Multi-first pinches. I love the concept that there's a track with this that you can pull me off of. I think that's just so sweet. I'm kind of lost. Anyway, LARPbeard, is it a clogged nose? We're not even 10 minutes into the stream and we got clog jokes. Where was I talking? Oh yeah, I used to boulder. That was my whole shtick. And then I picked up, I gave myself an injury with some tendons in my wrist. Couldn't climb for 6 months. Then we had kid. Then sort of got on the other side of that. Then had another kid. And now it's sort of several years on. And yeah, it's not happening. So you can call it climbing plus. For God, oh dear Lord. Right, I'm going to take, for a minute you're going down here while I strip off, because this is not that type of, it's not that kind of stream where I do this. Sun's out, guns out and all that jazz. Right, you're coming back up here. This is very professional. You start the stream with no audio, and then you take your top off halfway through. Quick, someone grab that clip of curling D20s. That, there are so many ways that particular clip can be used. None of it in a good way, let's be honest. Only dice content. Yeah, baby. Red hot rolling action. That's what we're all about here. That is what we're all about. Yes, but so, how did we do? How are we doing? How is everything? My God, we have so many. Look, hang on. I'm gonna show you these tonight. These are going. You're gonna see them. I'm gonna show you this thing over here. You're gonna see this. You need to see that as well. I'm not showing you that. I want to, but I can't. I'm gonna show you that thing down the bottom there. That's gonna come on. Yeah, because I'm thinking about giving away something tonight that I want to give away because I think it deserves supporting. It deserves love, and it was the thing that I picked up from there, the like flatty thing. That needs some love. So I think, are we up for a giveaway tonight? It would be quite a substantial one, but are we up for it? Do we fancy getting some free stuff? Up to you guys. I'll do it if you want to. Only dice. It's always nice to see members talking to each other and getting on and things. It's always cute. It is always cute. Although Larby isn't actually a member of the channel. I don't think you're a member of the channel yet, are you? Not Patreon, I don't think. Considering Infinity's max 15 monitors needed or so new players are told, I still somehow ended up buying 78 models. KJ, this is normal. I see nothing wrong with this at all. That is legitimately the way. Legitimately the way. I think it was it was early this year that I sold my military orders force, and I'd put it on the tabletop once. I hadn't finished painting a single miniature. There were 58 miniatures in that sectorial army. 78 for an entire faction. Perfectly normal. Larbeard, that was not my point. My point was I was going to say to you, you should talk on Discord and chat because Robin's on there too. But then I was like, actually, I don't think you remember of it, which is a bit of a dick move. It's like, oh yeah, you should totally catch up with us on Discord. Oh, you can't. You're not a member. Oh no, it's a bit of a dick move. So I didn't want to do that, but then I kind of ended up doing that anyway. Whatever you like, it's a pleasure either way. So yes, do we want to give away tonight? It will be a bolt action giveaway though. It will not be an Infinity giveaway. Well, they could use it for Infinity. It will be some terrain for bolt action. Are we interested or are we not interested? Let me know and then I'll do the thing if people want to do the thing. Absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine either way. So, where should we start? What do you guys want to start with? Apart from the thing I can't talk to you about, which is the third time I'm saying it. We're going to say that a lot tonight. Do you want to start with that bolt action terrain? Do you want to see the stuff that I'm talking about? Is that cool? Oh, itchy nose. Do we want to start there, or do we want to start with Eldfall, or do we want to start with Infinity, or do we want to start with Infinity Tournament last weekend, or where do we want to start? I'll leave it up to you. You're here, you are my guests. What would you like to hear about? BA love is good. Yes, it is, Robin. You are quite right. Right. Let's get organised, make sure I've got everything that I need. Before I came on, I was watching the latest drama in the 40k world. I like doing that occasionally. It's fun. It's nice to have that kind of moment where you're like, things could be worse. So, tournament. You want to start with tournament? We can start with tournament. We can do that. Contaminator, bonsoir, mes amis. How are you, buddy? All well with you, I hope? You've just started before, you've arrived just at the moment where things are about to get interesting, probably. Well, as much as they ever do. I mean, we've only got 2 hours and 15 left before I finally call a day, because that's kind of, I decided when I started streaming I was going to do an hour. And that was instantly gone out the window, so I said to myself, I'll do 2 hours, but I've not done below 2.5 yet. Multiverse miniatures. So I attempted to play a game of Infinity this weekend and got through one turn before I had to leave. It was my first attempt at using command tokens, combat groups and fire teams. So you were starting light then. This was your first game? Or ever? Love it, yes it is. It's like, no, they didn't. He did. Oh no. Girl, leave him. And there's another GIF for you. I'm just gifting them tonight. Gifting them? I don't know what I'm doing. There's a sticker that is within the local WhatsApp group, or my community WhatsApp group, of me that is used on a regular basis of me saying it depends. So, looking forward, what is on the docket? What is on the docket tonight? On the docket tonight, new bolt action terrain, new L4 miniatures, a Infinity tournament. I think we're going to talk about that one next, and the Infinity announcements for this last weekend. Gitsnick, the man of 1,000 stickers, which is somehow your fault. I know it wasn't actually you, but I'm still blaming you. I hold you personally responsible. So, fourth ever game. That's a lot. That's a lot to be doing on a fourth ever game. To be doing command tokens, combat groups, and filings. Was it fun? That's the most important question. Multiverse miniatures. Did you have fun? So I hope so. That's what it's supposed to be enjoyable. Only ever finished 2. Progress. My first game of N2, way back in the day, lasted the better part of a day. And we only finished because I unwittingly was so brutal to slaughter most of my opponent's stuff. So, you know, that was more luck than judgment, or bad luck than judgment. Luck than judgment, either way. Gitsnick, I'm honoured to have you present. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is good. I got to check the yes, bolt action stuff. So. Big C was, yes, Big C with 2 Shang-Chis would be fun. For you. Not necessarily for your opponent, but certainly for you. The man, the myth, the Sticker King. He really is, isn't he? He's technically second in command. So we have, within our local wargaming group, the Bucks, I don't know how many members we've got now. We've got a lot of members anyway. And it was technically started by myself and Gitsnick. We've got 48 members in our local community. Just around here. It's technically started by me and Gitsnick, but he's never at the evenings. It's like, there have been moments where he's turned up to a gaming evening and people have been like, who's that? That's the second in command of the whole group. Really? He is the man, the myth, the legend. You see the footprints in the snow, but you never see the animal. So we're honoured to be in his presence this evening. It's always a joy to have him kicking around the place. Anywho, so last weekend we had the joy that was a local Infinity tournament. It wasn't actually local. We had some guys from the other side of the country from us. We had some guys from Belgium, 2 different points in Belgium, and yeah, it was good. It was a nice one. A 3-round, 300 point. We did. What did we do? That's a really good question. Glad you asked. The missions that we did. It's one of those things. As soon as I'm done with an event, I mentally delete it. It's like, right, that's done. Good job. So we did Armory, Decapitation, and Frontline. I wanted to do some fun ones. I didn't want to make it too heavy. Didn't want to make it too, like, intense. We were still ITS 16. We're keeping it to ITS 16 just to make life a little bit easier, because when this was all announced and planned and lists were coming in, ITS 17 wasn't a thing. And I didn't really want to get, your work here is done. He's left. Like that, he was gone. I didn't really want to kind of do a week before, I'm going to send all of you out the missions that we're doing, and you need to read it and then write a list for it and get it in, because that's just not practical. A lot of people don't have the practical time to do that, and a lot of people like to practice beforehand. So we stuck to ITS 16. We did that. Armory, Decapitation, Frontline. Not too heavy. All good fun. Ended up being 14 of us. There was 16, but then one dropped, so I was playing and I dropped as well, so that was a nice round number. And it was a good day. We had a real mix of stuff. There was a real mix of kind of anything you'd expect. We had Shinda Butai was present. We had lots of Vanilla Pano. I think there was a couple of Vanilla Pano. Vanilla Combined Army. There's quite a lot of different armies that made it into the event. But it was won by Toha. Or Taha, depending on who you speak to. Yeah, Toha came away with a win, which was really cool to see and really unexpected. The artichokes would not die. The last game was really intense. It was kind of against Mean Green, who's a local. He's a Dutchman, absolute legend. Some of the finest miniatures you will ever see. And Prefect, who is Belgium, and both incredibly good players. And I was support TO for the day. I was training up another guy to be the actual TO. And so I was kind of trying to let him take the lead and stay behind, which meant I had more time to sort of stick my nose over. Hey Schizo, welcome. Enjoy. Good to have you here, buddy. Yes, there is bolt action stuff tonight. But yeah, so it was really two really good players, and Prefect is a hell of a player, especially with Toha. And it was fun to watch. Every shot I sort of stuck my nose over and saw what was happening, and it was a really good, humoured, really fun game. The whole day was actually. I was really pleased. I was really, when you run an event, you want it to be here, catching up. Hey, Blissful Badger, welcome. You want to have, as a TO, I want people to have fun. I want people to enjoy themselves, and everyone did. Everyone went home with a smile. Even the guy who came last, who has now come last so frequently that we've changed his nickname from Brambo, or I've changed it from Brambo to Spoon, because he always gets the spoon. He will never want for a spoon in his lifetime, and I get the impression the man's just warming up, and it was a joy to see. Even he had fun with it, so that was cool. Well, I didn't want to say anything, Robin, but you know, multiverse miniatures. Well, my opponent had more fun than me and killed all but one Shang-Chi on his turn with a group of Teutonic Knights. They do that. Teutons are renowned for breaking faces. And he shot the last one in the back 4 times with a shotgun and bounced off my armour. Oof. That's one of those, yes, yes! When your dice just get to a certain point and just give up on you. Anywho. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun, and it was nice to see Vanilla Combined Army came second. It wasn't, none of the Vanilla Combined that we had was dominant throughout the whole weekend by any stretch of imagination. And to be honest, not that I'd say it to him, because I don't want this is just between us, yeah. This doesn't go anywhere. There's not going to be a record of this. But the guy that came second, Spectre, I think that actually his second place was more to do with his skill than his list, because he's a hell of a player. He's a very, very good player. He's a veteran from N2, I think, too. And he plays with a confidence and knowledge and a capability that is, yeah. The fact that he came second was kind of not a shock by any stretch of imagination. Yeah. So anyway, it was a very successful weekend, and we got support from Lowland Miniatures, who were also supporting the Warcrow thing. They're doing great stuff for us too. So supported that as well, and lots of prizes for everyone. Everyone went home with something. It was nice. And I got to be the nice person because I didn't have to make any rules decisions. I had great joy in various points where people were like, so, with this very complicated rules interaction, not me, talk to the TO. Hey! There is a joy. There is an absolute joy to that. But yeah, it was fun. It was a good weekend. And now we're on the run into, we have a November newbie tournament. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to run it as a normal tournament, but we're not going to ITS report it. So it's going to be very much a newbies come along, throw dice, have the tournament experience, but we're probably going to run 250 points and 2.5 hour rounds, so less points, more time, just to give the newbies the space. Veterans will be invited, but they will be invited on the premise that, on the proviso, sorry, that they come loaded for cuddles and fun. Not loaded for bear, not loaded for violence, just bring silly lists and have, you know, a good time. And there's a lot of people that I would trust to do that. There's some I wouldn't, but there's some that just can't help themselves. They're built for the, you know, the violence. So, yeah, so that's the next one. And then we're starting the process now of rolling towards our Interplanetario. Now we can have unofficial tournaments on Sphere. We can have unofficial tournaments on Sphere. This is true, love. Although Sphere was a great source of ridicule and confusion this weekend. I'm sure they're going to get it sorted, but Corvus Sphere at the moment, it just, I can't trust it. I don't rely on it. And it kind of works fine. It's a little bit like having a slightly enraged bear keeping score. When you give it the points, it's either going to be fine or it's going to have a complete shit fit, pardon the terminology, and rip someone's arm off. And it's never entirely, you're never entirely sure which it's going to be. That does add to the excitement of the day. Because we did the round draw early, because we wanted to make sure that Corvosphere didn't completely fall over on the day. So we did it a couple of days before. And then we had a player drop, so I had to drop, so we had 2 players drop. But the round draw had been done. So Corvosphere just went, well, this person's playing no one and this person's playing no one. Okay, this is not a problem. I will reallocate them. Put them back in. You can either give them a buy or a rest round. I was like, well, I don't want to do that. I want that guy to play that guy because you've got no opponents. You know they have no opponents because this is. And Corvosphere goes, nope. Do you want to buy or do a rest round? Again, neither. Anyway, it turns out what you have to do is give them a rest round and then add a pairing manually. It doesn't tell you that. It just goes this or this. It's just a bit, you know. Yeah. So don't trust it. Training wheels to a new set of tyres. Yeah. Training wheels to the anarchy continues. We shall see. Coon, machine, murder. I love that's your statement as you come into the room. It's not hey, it's not how is everyone, it's not good to see you, it's just murder. You're on brand if nothing else, my friend. It worked fine after it stopped not working. This is absolutely true, because it did not work for a long period of time and then it did, which was great. Good to see you, Spoon. So, we'll finish the last piece for my current B8 army just in time for the mailman who will come tomorrow. Ronald, your commitment to the profit margins of Warlord is commendable and a joyous thing to see. It brings a tear to the eye of their accountants. They are incredibly indebted to you. What's up next on the building? So have you painted everything yet? That's a stupid question, but I thought I'd ask. Show willing. So yeah, so that was a tournament. Great success. New one's coming up. It's going to be good. In fact, Gitsnick is going to be the TO for the newbie tournament. A newbie TO for a newbie tournament. What could go wrong? Nothing. It will clearly be fine. It will clearly be fine. So, and the reason I'm training up all these TOs and stuff is to get us into a position where we have more TOs that can support with the satellite, basically, because we're going to have a 50-player satellite tournament. That requires more than me running from room to room, screaming at the top of my voice. God help us, I think we are beyond even his help at this point, Gitsnick, but I'm going to need more TOs than just me. So I have Office of Help and all the rest of it, but I want to have the resource within the community to run events as well. I want to take a break at some point. I'm on to play in an event and not actually TO it. That's a crazy concept. Zy Wheelchairs is training wheels on a bike in Dutch. For anyone who's not Dutch, which is some of you. So Zy Wheelchairs that Bram and Gitsnick are referring to is that. In the first tournament that I ran over here in the Netherlands was for newbies, and it was called Operation Zy Wheelchairs. So, which I don't know, Zy Wheelchairs. I pronounced that okay. So yes, that's Infinity Tournaments. Right, what am I going to do next? Next thing I'm going to do... It's not going to be... You won the mass... Ooh. Ooh, does that mean, Ronald, that you're joining Warcrow? Are you becoming Warcrow like the rest of us? Because we're extra. You actually... And if you have gone Warcrow, which side are you going for? Clearly not the good guys, because, you know, not everyone can be the good guys. Do I? Yes, I cover them. I talk about it. I want to deep dive further. There's a lot of things that, right, so command tokens, it's like when and how to use them is a little bit like when and how to use camo. So, right, brain in gear. Yes, I cover it to an extent. Could I cover it further? Yes, but it needs to go in with other stuff because it's a nuanced discussion that's actually quite short. The newbie tournament will be harder because newbies have more questions. That's absolutely true. But they tend to have easier questions, which is good. So, you know, when you have like hardcore experienced veterans on the board, they tend to be kind of like in this niche situation where this rule, this rule, this rule, this rule, and this rule intersect in this very one specific point. What do you do? Whereas a newbie will kind of be like, so, cover, how does that work? Okay then, Puppet, let's just talk about cover. It's going to be fine. And we can do that. To go all adventures, a bunch of... Larkbeard, stop pushing the crack. It's fine. Well, now, you lost an eye getting there. It was worth it, buddy. It was worth it. And this thing here is going to be up locally. We're going to be doing a tournament with Warcrow at some point, probably early next year. I've got this now. I have to just not open it and steal the miniature for myself. But we're probably going to be doing a tournament early next year. The guys from Belgium want to come too, so there's that. You never need to excuse yourself for being late, Psychophrenic. I hope you're doing well in your recovery. Rest up, paint some stuff. It'll be great. You'll love it. Yes. Back in the room. So, what's next? What's next? That was the tournament. Tournament was good. I was happy. There are some pictures over on Discord. For members, if you're a member, you can join the Discord. And I need to push it. I need to start pushing out once a week that people can join the Discord if you're a member, because it's good. It's very good. Anywho, next thing I'm going to talk about is a review that's coming up on the channel. I need to see myself for this one so I can actually realise what's going on. So for a minute, I'm not looking at chat, but we got sent. Can I do this? This stuff, the new Stalingrad terrain by Micro Art Studios. So this is pre-painted, all done from them. Now we have like most of a table to go, and I do love the smell of burnt MDF in the morning. So big shout out, of course, to Micro Art Studio for dropping this across to us. But this is their new stuff that's just coming out. As the name implies, Ostfront, Stalingrad. It's just pretty, and this is all pre-painted, so you put it together and you're done. Which for a lazy like me is key. This is a selling point. This is very much last but not least. So we're going to be doing, I'm going to be building all of these, putting all these together, and it's quite chunky. I mean, this is always good quality stuff. I'm going to be putting together these and then doing a review. What I would say about these is they're not cheap, but my God, are they pretty. And you can already see, I mean, the quality, if you've had Micro Arts pre-painted before, you know the quality of this stuff. It is build it, done. There's not really anything else you need to do to it, which is a curse and a blessing. But yeah, so I'm going to do a review of that and putting that out. I'm going to see whether we can get something going with them to go on that video for you guys as well. Larkbeard, you just had your first Warcrow tournament this Friday. Store is pushing it hard. How was it? How was the tournament? Who won? What won? Coon, you do need to buy Warcrow. That's absolutely true. Gene Dean! You will always, Gene Dean, be Gene Dean 69 to me. Which says a lot about me. But it does look amazing, because it is amazing, because it's pretty stuff. So what I'm going to do, this is not cheap stuff, I will say that. That is possibly the only downside of the Micro Art stuff. It's not cheap, but it saves you a shed load of time, and it's pretty. So, you know, there's that kind of thought to go with it. So what I'm going to do tonight, because I'm an idiot, I'm not, because I love this stuff and I think more people should buy it, and I want to. They send stuff to me. I want to support them. I love the guys at Micro Art Studio. I have done for years. They are fantastic human beings, great mammals, good for the community. Like we've spoken to them already about supporting our satellite tournament for Infinity. They're going to do that. So they're going to give us stuff and things like that, and probably attend. I don't know if they're going to bring tables, probably not, but we're going to get prize support and they're going to be there, and that's just really cool. And that's the kind of thing that they do. They are present and they're actively engaged, and they make stuff that the community wants. You know, we're in a point at the moment with we're at a point with bolt action where we are getting to the Ostfront that the Soviets have just, the Russians just dropped. Soviets have just dropped. The armies of Burke is all out. So you've kind of got that refresh of the Soviets. They've done Ostfront and now they're doing Ostfront Stalingrad. So you have the terrain to go with those miniatures that have just dropped fresh from Warlord because they know what's coming up and all the rest of it. So, yeah, Gene Dean, I hear you. The tariffs suck. Tariffs suck in both directions. If they didn't, then I would be definitely buying a lot of our friends from Warsenal. I would be buying a lot of Warsenal stuff. I'm gonna try this. I don't know whether this is gonna work, guys, but we're gonna give it a go. So if we can hit this target, which is pretty big, I'm going to give away the apartment block 2 pre-painted, including postage, anywhere in the world. Unfortunately, I'm not covering tariffs. That's not a me thing. I'm sorry. If we can hit it, but it's a pretty steep dive. We'll see. We'll see if it happens. Does that work? No, that's a bit high, actually. We can bring that back. That doesn't need to be that high. That was stupid. Start that. Poof. So that's what we're giving away. I'm giving away this guy if that happens. Larkbeard, Feudum player, had her first demo not a month prior, finished painting 150 points for the tournament in less than 2 weeks. Damn, that is some commitment. And there'll be some happy Feudum players in chat right now, I know that. Mike Pierce, I was supposed to wait. What was I supposed to wait for you for generally? Was there anything specifically that I was waiting for you for, or just generalized waiting? Thank you for joining as well. I saw that you joined over on Patreon today. Thank you for that, brother. That was very much appreciated. I hope that you liked the video that was given and created especially for you. Over on Patreon and members, I do like list reviews, and Mike had requested one for US Ariadne. So I put together a US Ariadne list for ITS 17. It's like a 20-minute, half an hour discussion of the mission and the list and how it worked and all that kind of stuff. So that's all out there. I Spearmaneer. Wow, you must be a happy bunny this evening, I Spearmaneer. Great to catch a stream again. Currently working on the new Conflict 47 starter set. What is everyone else making? Poor life choices is what I'm making, buddy. Yes, Nick. I think you owe me €6 anyway. That's just your weekly Rent-A-Friend subscription right there, Gitsnick. Yes, you did owe me that. You're quite right. Thank you very much. It's very kind. So when we clear this, I will do a draw of the people that have put in towards the super chats, and one of you will get that thing for free. I see we think alike in list review. I would say your list isn't all takers list. Yeah, absolutely. I think that if you tailor a list, especially in Infinity, to a specific opponent or a specific play style, then you're making your life harder. You're putting yourself in a difficult position potentially. So I like to have a list that broadly covers the mission and has flexibility built into it. And I think that list was filthy and disgusting and definitely had the capability of dealing with anything that came up. Really, it was one of those things. I finished. Sometimes you create these lists, you finish it, and you're like, yeah, that was cool, and put it away. Other times you finish it, and you're like, oh, I'd quite like to run that. I'd like to see how that played out. So if you do, let me know. Multiverse Miniatures. I was going to ask if you had heard about Warsenal. I'm extremely spoiled to be located in the same city as the company, so all my games get to be on the terrain. Well, guess which mofo just picked up a permanent ban from this channel. I had the joy of meeting Jay. I think he's the governor of Warsenal at the Interplanetario a couple of years ago, and what a fantastically lovely, community-oriented human being he is. I'd love to support them just based on having met him. It was one of those things. I saw the table was stunning, and then I chatted to him and I was like, damn it, I want to give you my money because you're nice. And then you looked at the tariffs, and you're like, yes, I can give you my money, and then all of this money has to go too, because tariffs. Yeah, deal with that. Ice Biminier. So, for all you Bolt Action fans, we are in the presence of greatness. Ice Biminier here is a local player. He's another Buccaneer, so one of my local community. And he came second at the Dutch Nationals for Bolt Action this weekend, which is a pretty impressive feat. In fact, damn near legendary. So bravo, my friend. Bravo. Working on a mix. Terrain for Attrition, RCT, MDF from Death Ray Designs for Infinity APL. Nice. Good job, Gene Dean. Terrain is terrain is always lovely to have finished. It's not one of the areas of the hobby that I cherish, I have to say. Mike Pierce, yes he is. It's horribly nice. There's sometimes you meet people inside of the wargaming community and you think, well, there must be something about you I don't like. Maybe you're rubbish at painting, or you're rubbish at the game, or you're just a rubbish human being. And then there's other people you meet and you're like, well, you're just lovely at everything, aren't you? There's no reason to hate you other than how nice you are. Jay is one of those people. Just genuinely fantastic mammal, and a great justification for the existence of the world. Third. Wow. Well, if I'd known that. Pointless. Rubbish. That was right. I remember now. I saw. My chat will enjoy this. Can you explain to the chat what your trophy was? What shape your trophy was in for the Dutch Nationals? So, and I think it's terrible, these foreigners coming over here and stealing stuff from the Dutch. Anywho. Multiverse Miniatures. Jay is super cool and his community of players has been incredibly welcoming. I can believe it. It is. Coming over there, there's a couple of people that I would travel to the US and meet, and he is one of them, and I'd bring miniatures and play. That would definitely be a thing. So, the great group over there at Arsenal got to see, I think only a few weeks back, about selling their models. Do you know, I've been thinking that what I need to do, because we have a lot of the Dice Gods community is over the pond, over to the side of water. I'm thinking about having a chat with Arsenal and seeing whether I can get something going with them to support you guys doing the stuff via the channel with them. Things. I don't know. Need to have a chat with Jay. He's a lovely human being, and maybe there's something we can work with there. We shall see. But yes, Ice Bear, you did an epic job, and it was freaking awesome to hear. And I'm super impressed. So his trophy was actually a bronze clog, which is glorious. Yes, Chris. Yes. I pay attention to my metrics. It's... Well done, Blissful Badger. Well done for catching up. So when you mean catch up, I assume you mean you actually watched all of this on double speed to get right here. I hope it was worth it. I don't think it was. Did you enjoy the bit at the start where I didn't have a mic? That's the most sense I've made all evening. Blissful Badger, that is commitment, dude. That is absolute commitment. I have to say. I can put people in a timeout. I have power. I don't need it, but I have the ability to do the stuff. That is cool. Up. I'll bring it up to him the next time I'm in the store. Sure, by all means. I need to drop them an email, and it's one of the things that's on the list. Tomorrow I get to work on Dice God stuff. Exclusively, which is good, because I need to, because of this stuff over here which I can't talk about. Listen, hang on, we can do this again. Ready? Oh, ready? So exciting. In fact, I can also do so exciting. Anyway, I need to work on that tomorrow for you guys for what comes next, you know? That's very exciting. I get to work on that tomorrow, but I can also message Jay at the same time. So we're going to do that. That is going to be cool. We're going to have that conversation. Because I'd love to see because I want to kind of do with the Dice Gods as well, with the people that are supporting what I'm doing. I will kind of want to give the love back, which is hence the reason that members now get 10% off with Sourcewind Studios for their STLs or 3D printing stuff. Because I'm supporting them, they're supporting me, so therefore we're all supporting you, because that's how it should be. And if I can get something going with Warsenals so that we can use any sort of connection I have with you guys to help the Infinity community over there grow and get more people to love Warsaw, then it's only a good thing. Clearly it's only a good thing. Show. What are we going to do next? I have so much. We've nearly been going on an hour. No, we haven't. 46 minutes. It's fine. 10%. I think it was 10%. I think it's 10% off you get with the STLs. I mean, their STLs aren't ridiculously expensive anyway. They're not expensive anyway, but this is just... It's what I want to do. I want to do little bonuses for all of you guys, just like I say. For the people that support me, and there's so many of you now, we're screaming towards 100 members and Patreons, which is crazy. I was looking at my stats the other day and sort of put the figures for YouTube and Patreon together, and I was just like, damn, thank you. It's crazy. It's brilliant. It's completely bonkers. Anyway, what are we going to do next? I'm going to do a little bit of these. I'm going to do a little bit of Eldfall next, because there's been some stuff with Eldfall. So Eldfall, if you're not familiar with it, it is Fantasy Infinity N3. So you've got all of that good stuff going on. It's a phenomenal system, but it's smaller than Infinity, so you kind of have 3, 4, maybe 5 miniatures in a force. Their entire range is unicals, so the miniatures are just absolutely peak sexiness. They really are. I don't know, have we got anything up here that's worth showing? Ooh, Bowmaster. So this is a miniature out of Soga. And I mean, you can see the detail on this. This is all unical. But they really think about their design work, because like even the bases have got little magnet points in them. So Eldfall is a fantastic system that I would highly recommend. But it kind of choked a bit this year because they hit an issue where they had a Kickstarter, and that Kickstarter kind of, it got stuck in purgatory, because around the time where somebody introduced a whole load of tariffs to imports and exports was around the time when their Kickstarter was getting ready to deliver. So they have this huge dungeon crawler. Stop me if this sounds familiar, but a huge dungeon crawler where you can get a whole 2 new factions for the game, or sub-factions for the game, a whole set of heroes that are going to mix into the existing factions, and you get the dungeon crawler too. They were just getting ready to deliver that, and then we got hit with these tariffs, and just their supply chain imploded. Eldfall, I can link you absolutely. So yeah, they got really stung by this, and it was a total freaking nightmare from their perspective. It's spelt like that. So demanding. My goodness. Honestly, last time somebody was that demanding, I'd divorce them. Thank you for the education, Ice Bear Manure, on what clogs are. Most people know what, most of them know, a lot of my chat know what clogs are, and it's very worrying. Anyway, any word on US accessibility? For Eldfall, there are suppliers over there for Eldfall already. That I do know. And I was waiting on a list of whom, and I haven't had it yet, so I'm going to poke. What's up, Martin? Another alumni from this year's Dutch Bolt Action Open. So, yeah. But yeah, Eldfall Chronicles, definitely check that out. Anyway, as I say, I was in the middle of story time. So they hit this problem, and it meant that something that was supposed to be delivered in May, June has been delayed and is just squeaking into being delivered now, and that's really kind of hurt them. It wasn't their fault. I know you don't know. You're my audience, clearly. So, yeah, they hit that problem, and it kind of slowed things down because they had this dungeon crawler to deliver, and when that's delivered, they're going to move on to the next set of stuff and all the rest of it. And part of that dungeon crawler was a whole set of limited edition miniatures, and I got to pick some of the ones that I wanted. I bought them. I didn't get given them before we think about that, but they've just dropped in, so I wanted to share some of them because it shows you how bonkers this range of miniatures is. Tomo, and she's got like water magic that she does. So these are, because they've got neutral on them, you can take them as mercenaries for other factions. Come on, focus. There we go. I haven't actually opened these. I've resisted opening them so far. But one thing that I really adore about Eldfall, wow, we have we have so many different cards. Different grades of cards. This is so cool. Anyway, so they come with cards like this with all their stats on. You get the details on it. These are light on it, but this is all the different types of sorcery and stuff that you can use. But what we're here for, see, look, unicorn miniatures. Look at how nicely they come. I think she probably needs a little bit of warming because she's got some skinny bits on her that need skinny bits on her that will need straightening out almost certainly. But like, oh, the quality, the detail on these things is bonkers. Can we get the light right on that one? Come on. You see the detail on that. And this is the first time I've opened this. These haven't been cleaned up. But like, there's a little bit of flash on the shoulder just up here. A little bit of flash just there. So contact point from the sprue, so I need to tidy that up. That's it on that piece. Like, the quality of these is beautiful. They just are absolutely stunning. Come on. See all the straps and stuff there. Absolutely gorgeous. So that's Tomo. And that was one of the ones I got. Excuse me while I annoyingly put everything back in. Just check. Before I started playing at clubs, I thought historical wargaming was mainly played by teens and 20-somethings. You forget my age. You are a tiny little young person. Shush. I printed 6 of them and they are a joy to paint. Yes. I'm building my Fugium and they are mostly Seocasts, so I'm feeling very envious right now. Oh, don't. I've got to do a review of the big box at some point of some of the Dormant, and 50% of that box is Seocast, and it just... Anyway, so I'm going to keep going with the things to make you disgustedly... How durable is Unicool? It is more durable than Seocast. It can be a little bit fragile. I've had some break when it's been dropped, but it is way, way better than Seocast. It's not as durable as metal, obviously, but like, I mean, this is a piece of Infinity Unicool here. And like, it's sturdy enough, you know? It's not, there's no flex to it. If I kind of wobble the hammer, you see how much it moves. Doesn't really at all. It's a trip hammer. Lovely miniature. But again, the detail on it is fantastic. The cleanup is minimal. The amount of time it takes to put this stuff together is just, it's nothing. You get the faction boxes for Eldfall and they have 4 miniatures in them. And I did 2 complete faction boxes in under 30 minutes. From opening box to 8 fully built miniatures. It was under 30 minutes. So you can't really, you know, argue with that. Not as good as Hips, but better than most resin out there. I'd agree with that lot. That's absolutely fair. So what is the game about then? What Eldfall? Eldfall is kind of, so it's a fantasy war game, 3 to 4 miniatures. You have, it's similar to Infinity N3. So when we look at the, oh, they've changed. These are the new layout cards. So when you look at these, we have this figure here. This is a stamina figure. So that's 2. So in the active phase, for Infinity players out there, Tomo can do 2 things. He can do 2 activations. And during those activations, stop me if you've heard this one, Infinity players, she can do 2 skills. And that will be a move and something else, or a long skill like a run, move sort of thing. And she has spells that she can cast, think hacking, and she can close combat stuff as well. You get guys like the archer that we saw earlier, and that's like your shooty type stuff. You get face-to-face experiences, but there are some key differences. One of those key differences is that if you dodge and you succeed, you move and you cancel any attacks that are coming in. All you have to do is succeed. You don't have to beat the roll, because this isn't the D20 system. You don't have to face-to-face it. Why is that the case? Because that stamina that we talked about on here applies in reactive phase 2. So you have 2 arrows. That's it. Which means that you can get out activated in reaction. A sensible opponent will draw you to activate the thing they want you to activate so that they can then do the thing they want to it. It's a very different feel. And when you first start out with it, that whole dodge and you miss it and everything misses just because you succeed feels incredibly broken, incredibly painful. You're like, whoa, I just succeeded and everything missed. But as you get into it and you appreciate, yeah, but you have a limited number of times you can do that, it's like, oh, okay, this starts to make sense. But it's got a fairly rich lore to it. It's a very different world to our own, and there's elves and all the good stuff. Murder elves that can walk through walls. Need we say more? We have guys that have a very sort of Middle Eastern feel to them, and they can use magic to bring certain things to life, golems and all this sort of stuff. Very, very funky. And have flying carpets too, because why on earth wouldn't you? Soga, which is very Asian, the most simplistic and direct version that you can do. Yeah, it's a really interesting system, and I'd recommend checking it out. It's similar to Infinity. You've got the free rules and all this kind of stuff, so check it out. We'll look at some more miniatures because they're pretty. Use this Guildsworn Knight. If you like that kind of more traditional fantasy look than you get with Warcry, you will find that in Eldfall. We have one of the factions is Paladin type Knight type feel. So you build a group and they buff each other to move forward as a bundle and go downfield. So, and the last box, I love this one. The Amazons, these guys are absolutely completely, or these ladies, sorry, absolutely completely bonkers. In-game, the output that they have is horrific. And they are beautiful miniatures as well. And if you want to have a look at any miniatures, and I'll crack them open, like I did Tomo, I am more than happy to do that if you want to see the cool stuff, because that gives me a good excuse to open them up as well. But they're reasonably priced as well, like the 2-player starter set. You have 2-player starter sets. So you have all 4 factions across 2 boxes. And quite a few people that I know went and bought both 2-player starter sets because they're reasonably priced. And then you're kind of like, well, I've got all of them and there's only 16 miniatures in total. Which is kind of cool. Well, 18 miniatures in total, because you get big guys like these. Oh god, that's badly painted. I need to finish that. You get these when you get the 2-player starter set as well. They are non-player characters, because this game can be played solo, it can be played cooperative, and it can be played competitively. There's a tournament system as well. We have a similar sort of ideal. They're 34mm LARP. New Aerosayer Valkyrie model just dropped. Oh, nice. Nice. Hang on a second. Yeah, I'm interested to see what they do with New Aerosayer. I'm intrigued, I have to say. Oh my goodness. Profiterio, thank you for raiding me on Twitch. That's amazing. Thank you for... Wow. Thank you very much. That's completely crazy. Yay. We're ready for the cookies. That is incredibly kind. Yeah, I'm on Twitch too, guys, which is very strange. I'm going to start painting on Twitch soon. We have cookies. We always have cookies. What scale I suggest you choose these Amazons? Huh? I don't even understand that lark beard. That one I'm missing. But yeah, so much going on. So that is, if you're looking for if you want something that's got elements of Infinity, you tend to find people that jump into Eldfall from Infinity find it a really easy transition. If you're looking for that fantasy, you're looking for that. I just showed these, did I? I'm sorry, it's my age. Any prep needed for Warlord Resin Minis? So with Warlord Resin Minis, I would always give them a wash in dishwasher detergent, warm it, give them a bit of a scrub with the toothbrush, clean them off with cold water, fresh cold water, let them dry off, make sure they're thoroughly dry, and then put them together. I've not had many issues myself, but I have heard of people that have had release agent issues with theirs, so I would definitely do that. I guess, Nick, yes. So Aristea, so for those of you who are unaware, Aristea is a sports game, think Blood Bowl, set in the Infinity universe, and it is about to have its first computer game coming up from that, which is kind of in a beta phase at the moment. What on earth is it called? Oh, I've lost it now. I can't remember. It's called something. That's really bad. I did have the option to try it out, and I didn't because I didn't have time. Is the straight answer. It looks really cool. Aristea is a really cool system. There's no two ways about that. But I didn't have an opportunity to play it. Did you? Did you give it a go? Mark 10, they have been fine with me doing nothing but washing it with dishwater. Yeah. That, Martin, that's exactly what I would try. I would give it a clean first, give it a scrub with the brush just to make sure it's okay for the edges. What would you recommend for competitive play, Warcrow or Eldfall? Sausages is the straight answer to that one. I would say that it depends what scale, and by scale I mean volume of miniatures you want to play. Eldfall competitively is 4 miniatures, anything up to 6 if you go for, from what I understand, the Goblin faction when that comes out, that will be more like 6 miniatures. So you have a smaller scale, it's a different feel, a different flow, shorter game, hour max. Warcrow, you are looking at more like 20-25 miniatures. You're looking at longer games, much more, I'd say a heavier narrative flow as they get that sorted in Warcrow. So it's a different beast. What I would say in Eldfall's favour from your perspective is it's very similar to Infinity. So you are building on a foundation you already have, whereas Warcrow is very different from Infinity. So it's a new system to learn and retain and remember. So Hexadome Arena, that was the one, Kuhn, thank you. That was the name of the Aristea game. And it looks cool. I from what I've seen of it, it looks awesome. I just don't have time for that, bad as that is. Triggermen should be dropping this week. Yeah, provided CB hit their delivery dates, they should be out, and that should give a nice tweak to Tunguska, and I'm resisting ordering them. I'm just not doing it. They can't make me. It's not something that I have to do. You did try it. Gitsnick did try Hexadome Tactics. It's very nice. Works great as a PC game. I can imagine, from what I've seen, it's phenomenal. My good friend Zombie Sashimi, who's on Twitch, he did some beta testing with it and did that online, and it looked sweet. No two ways about it. Right, if you like Blood Bowl, it's fun. Yeah, cool. Totally understand. Yep. Nice beer in here. That Bolt Action players don't get jealous with each other in chat, please. Hexadome Tactics PC. Yeah, Lockbeard, their naming conventions sometimes. It would be great if we had a very distinct... Anyway. Why change it from Aristea? Aristea was never an issue. But here we are. It's the world we live in now. We're just going to have to poke up with it. But yeah, Kuhn, if you're wanting to go competitive, I would say that there's about equal numbers at the moment of Warcrow and Eldfall players in our community, so... You've ordered them already, you just want the miniatures. I know. So I have already ordered my husks for Scions of Yaldabaoth for Warcrow. My patience is very anorexic at this point. It's just barely there. Like, for God's sake, give me my toys. New Hexadome Legends, Aristea 2 is like 95% of the same rules. Yeah. Yeah, do you know, I owned Aristea when it first dropped, version 1, and I got a couple of bits to go around it, and I never got around to playing it. It was one of those things I was like, yeah, I absolutely need to do that. Never got around to it. There seems to be a very specific scratch that needs itching for me to get onto a game. Bolt actions definitely hit that. Walker Out Eldfall have definitely hit that, but yeah, I can get that one. I can understand where you're coming from. Neil, is that you from North Africa? You have a different name. But welcome. And the picture that you sent earlier on Discord, it looked horrible, mate. I don't know why you'd go there. It looks like you're having a terrible time. I really wouldn't do that. The people that play it with yet another log on, yes. Good to see you, Neil. It did look stunning, I have to say. So Neil's a member on, I think here actually, on YouTube. Somewhere, anyway. And he put a picture on Discord earlier of his current location, which is North Africa rather than the UK. He's on holiday, and it was just one of those things of, oh no, how horrible for you, that looks terrible. Yeah, I was getting that the Warcrow and Aristea have lots of things, but then Warcrow also has a lot of other things in its DNA. When you start pulling back, there's bits of Star Wars Legion in there and all kinds of stuff. There is bits of Infinity in there, but it's all kind of smushed up really small and turned into something different. So I'm kind of liking it. It's yeah, I don't know. It doesn't. You know what I mean by sometimes you look at a system and you're like, yes, but no. Aristea or Hexadome Ear Fluff, whatever it's going to be called this time, Hexadome Legends, and Moonstone, and there's a couple of other systems that I've hit off over the years that I'm like, yeah, I want to like that more than I actually do, and that's how I feel. How will we cope? I know you're a martyr. You're an example to us all. There, Neil, in having such a hard life. I just put the mini in the soapy stuff. I can see the stuff coming off. Yeah, exactly. That's the point, I spear. You put it in and you soak it and give it a good scrub as well. Give it a scrub with a toothbrush if you have a spare one. I know you're sort of a student, so you probably don't have a toothbrush at all, let alone a spare one. But you never know. We live in hope. My PS Aristea was great when Guild Ball was great and fell off due to poor development in season 2 and 3. Right. I can believe I didn't stay around for that. I didn't stay around for that with Aristea. The initial bit happened and I was like, eee. That's as far as we got. It promised so much. Yes, it did. Just opened my US Army starter box. So many games, so much to build, so much fun. It's just disappointing that we have to sleep, eat, work, have relationships. It's just, I don't have time for any of this. Yeah, my mum is over from the UK at the moment, so I was very kind. On a Monday, I look after my youngest all day, and today I was very kind. I let them have some time alone and went off and did some work. Yeah, what did I build something? Oh yeah, I built the terrain from Song of the Dormant, which was interesting. It's typical Corvus Belli cardboard terrain where you can put like 75% of it together, and the last 25% you kind of have to bend space-time to get it to fit together. It's like, right, this bit went up and this bit went down to go in. Now this one needs to go down and this one needs to go up. It's like, I can't. That's not one of the. It's not one of the options. And you do it and you kind of damage it a little bit, but you know. We were discussing terrain, but nobody mentioned War Cradle Scenics. I bounced off War Cradle. You don't see a lot of it over here. There's bits and pieces, but there's not a lot you see over here. And I've not seen them as being massively active within the communities that I operate in. So I haven't really seen a lot of their stuff, is the straight answer. There's a 3D print and play called Sunshard and Breton. Love the dice play. Feels like a love letter to the Dark Age Infinity. Cool. If you're a student taking roommate's toothbrush, Larkbeard, you are a bad man. Did my mum bring Terry's? Yes, and I ate it. I think they'll kill me if they find out. They got a spare one, especially for... There you go. Look at you. See, Ice Bear isn't just a student, he's a rich one. He can afford 2 toothbrushes. It's inspiration to all of us. There's so many inspirations in here tonight, chaps. It's amazing. So... Yeah, what the hell was I? Oh yeah, I was talking about Eldfall a minute ago. So yeah, if you are looking for Ice Bear, just because you Brits got amazing dental care doesn't mean we Dutchies do. A little bit racist there, buddy. A little bit racist. Watch that. Watching you. I'm not saying you're not right. Anywho, it's all the tea we drink. It's a problem. So we were talking about Eldfall. So if you are looking for a fantasy game that you don't want to spend a huge amount of money, but you want like something Infinity, but you want something quite crunchy, you want to go competitive, and you want beautiful miniatures that are really, really stunning, check out Eldfall. Seriously, it doesn't cost that much, and you can get in the US, so definitely. A spare toothbrush, but hasn't eaten for a week. Absolutely, he's a student. Afford a toothbrush, can't afford to eat. Xenophobia, it's an issue. It's a real issue. Neil, I'm basically a victim here. Change your toothbrushes once in a while. I have an old one. Do I change my toothbrushes once in a while? Yeah. I tend to do it sort of around every decade birthday. It's nice. Eldfall is win. Eldfall is fun. I need to do more Eldfall. I had a game booked and then something went wrong and I couldn't have it. Couldn't play, and it was one of those like, damn it. So I need to play more of it because there's, you know, when you play a game and you play it enough to be like, I like this. This is fun. But I need to learn how this bit works, and you don't get the time to spend on that bit. That's where we are with Eldfall at the moment. I need to spend more time with it. I'm a guild master, so I'm promoting it in the same way as I do with being a warcore with Infinity and blah 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 blah. But it's a good system. It's a lovely system. And what I'll do is when I've built these, sometime around Christmas, I'll put pictures of them up on Discord and stuff like that. But I can't believe this one's got 4 cards with it. That is so cool. Because you have, within the system, you have different grades of magic and different qualities of spellcasters. So like this one here has 1, 2, 3. So I'm guessing that is related to, it's related to the quality of magic that she's got. Ooh, technically that's a 4th one. That's technically a level 4. Yeah, that should actually be 1, 2, 3, 4. So, yeah. Very cool system. Definitely check it out. Definitely. I got enough fat reserves to go for a week without food. I'll manage. Food is for the weak. Ice Bear in here. See, that's where you get your name. Ice Bear hunts once a week, eats stuff, and then rests. Definitely the way that goes. What are we going to move on to next? And reminder, if the stuff with the super chats is to get some of this. So if you want some bolt action pre-painted terrain, there is one piece that I will get sent to you from Micro Studio directly. If you want to add your own stuff to it as well to get more, which I'd recommend, I'll be out there. So super chats if you're feeling generous. Right, that's done. I still can't do this. Still can't do that. I so want to. Oh my god, it's cool. Right. How come the Infinity RPG never took off in popularity? As I understand it, so that was from Modiphius. I own a couple of the books, actually. I own a couple of them in PDF. And the feedback that I got from people about it was that it was fine, which is not what people want from an RPG. Fine is not good enough, you know? But to really get it, you need to play. Yeah, no, yes. You can get the hook for L4 easily, but you need to play to get into it. Like any system, you need to, engage. Ice Bear is a collector with detachment issues. I'm not a hoarder. I don't understand any of that. I see the thing, I like the thing, I buy the thing. Sometimes I see the thing, I buy the thing. Like doesn't even come into it. It's a problem. And that's why we have to have a YouTube channel so that we can justify it all. Exactly how that works. So that means it's perfectly legitimate. Show. So we've done that. We're not doing that. We're going to get another drink because we need more drinks. So I found this, I get off to a conversation with you guys, having spoken about clogs for 40 minutes. Clogs and regret is what I get at the end of a live stream. And I'm dying of thirst because I've just been talking incessantly, so. Right. Good, good. So what we're going to do next, who's ready for story time? Are you sitting comfortably? It's Infinity. We're going to do some Infinity stuff. We ready? I hope you're ready. We're going to do the thing. We're going to do the thing. Although I want to build those L4 miniatures now. They're sort of sat there and I'm like, ooh. Open them all and look at all the cards. It's a problem. I did write a list around those Amazons the other day because they're so pretty. And they're actually bonkers in game as well. So, right, I've had way too many drinks. Neil, you have to hydrate. You're in North Africa, buddy. You've got to hydrate. That's what you're doing. Student life hack. Water is free. Yes, yes, it is. Today has been wine, beer, wine, beer. Well, at least you're adding variety in there. You've got kind of like carbohydrates from the hops and the grain and stuff, and then you've got the fruit with the wine, so it's balanced diet, buddy. I mean, I'm not seeing the freaking problem at all. Right, anyway, story time. So what we're going to do next is we are going to talk about over here. You ready? And 3, 2, 1, and hey, look at that. So we're going to talk about Freak Wars for a second. This was the event that happened in Spain this last weekend. Corvus Belli went to it. They did a showy thing. They did a whole new set of reveals. And so because of that, we get to talk about it. Now, unfortunately, the only thing that we have from the event is the ubiquitous Corvus Belli camera phone shots. We don't actually have the official ones yet. So you'll have to bear with me and you'll have to sort of live with my apologies of the quality and the huge thanks to everybody that took these and shifted these online so that people like me can go, oh, I have opinions about them. Speaking of his high horsepower races, balance is failing. Right, so let's get into this. So these are the actual pictures of the Zaybak for Hack. This was Freak Wars in Spain. The official Corvus Belli presentation. We're actually seeing some pictures of the Zaybak now, which is pretty. We've got the pilot. If you don't remember it, this is the profile. This is one of the things that actually came out from the tournament this last weekend, is that the vehicles are a bit dirty. Some of them are filth, to the point of not being fun to run, almost not fun to play against. Zaybak is certainly getting onto that. Arm 5, 3 structure. Albedo -6 is interesting because some of the other ones are mimetism. Dodge -3, which is just... You're trying to get out of the way of this damn thing and you get dodge -3. Super jump jet propulsion, which is on super jump 3, so it super jumps 11 inches. So what we were seeing a lot of, or has been seen a lot and discussed a lot, is pop-tarting with vehicles where you just super jump up in the air and then dacker something that's flat on a roof. It kind of wipes out, nod to the monkey, wipes out the benefit of terrain or the value of terrain inside of Infinity, which is a huge thing. It's a massive thing. The fact that you can just go, hello, is horrible. Completely unnecessary. It's a bit much, especially for a 37.1.5 SWC Spitfire with smoke grenade launcher. That's just unnecessary. So, I mean, this with the Albedo -6, this is definitely a MSV hunter. You have your MSV units, and this is just going to knock them out of the box. There's no two ways about that. And the fact that it also has an escape system too. So if you take those 3 structure off, then you get your little munchkin, or escape system 2. So you take your 2 structure off, and then your little munchkin gets ejected onto the ground, and is still running around with a Spitfire BS-12 Arm 3. That's a lot. The Zaybak is a lot. I love it. I love the aesthetic. But yes, Kuhn, we know you ran them this weekend, Machine. You ran them and they were not fun. They were not fun for you to play, which was just a sad thing when somebody has a toy and like, yeah, this kind of sucks. Anyway, so The Zaybak is coming. It's pretty. I mean, let's be honest. That is pretty. Would you run it? I'll leave that up to you and your conscience. I personally wouldn't. Next up, it beginneth. Next wave. So the new sectorial that is dropping in the near future for Combined Army, a new sectorial army, because that's what Combined needed. The proto-human sectorial is arriving. We've had our first look, so we have the Cliff Jumpers Extreme Jump Unit with boarding shotgun. There is our artwork. Note, submachine gun, boarding shotgun, and heavy flamethrower, because that's what you need in a jump trooper. Decharges, paramines. No one needs it. And there's your profile, your first next wave profile. So the 4-4 move, CC16, BS12, Fist 10, Whip 13, 1 arm, 3 BTS, 1 Vita. Okay. BS stack plus 1 burst is tasty. Dodge plus 3, so they're dodging on a 13. Mimetism minus 3 is not to be sniffed at. Parachutist, useful. Paired with that combat jump with the PH13 is good. And the super jump jet propulsion is not, you know, as to be expected at this point. So it's a fairly solid airborne deployed trooper. It's not massive. I mean, it's not incredibly tough. But then, come with me downstairs. Light shotgun, heavy flamethrower, paramines for 21 points. That's pretty good, actually. A killer hacker with submachine gun zapper as well. Decharges. See, the killer hacker with decharges, you have way more, you have more classified objectives this guy can do for 23 points. And then the FO, boarding shotgun, flash pulse, paramines, 22 points. I think that's, as a parachutist, that's almost Tomcat level of usefulness. Especially with the killer hacker. That is plus 1 burst on a submachine gun, zapper, 23 points, Whip 13. Okay, Whip 13 is not amazing, but on a killer hacker, Whip 13 with BTS 3, it's really not to be sniffed at. And it's at that price point where it's kind of fine. But it's kind of like, yeah, I'll just fire that at you. I'll just stick that in your face. Because, yeah, it's not too bad. So, yeah, that's our first next wave dude. Next up, Harbingers, who just have this, I mean, Harbinger. It's just badass, let's be honest, as a name for a unit. Now, one thing to note here, we have that red suit, so we're kind of going for a very specific look. If you recognise it, you recognise it. And that gun is pure Shaz. It's pure Shazvasti. So we're looking at Shazvasti weaponry. We've already seen some like hints and tips about the stuff that was coming up, and it's been Shaz oriented. No two ways about it, but definitely these guys are on with Shazvasti gear, which, you know, someone's got to use it, I suppose. And there are the stats. Yeah. So, okay, light infantry, 4-4 movement, CC15, BS11. You know, there are forces, Tunguska, Pano as a whole, that have the BS12 plus, but BS11 is fine. Fist 10 is okay. Whip 13 is fine. Arm 1, BTS 3. So this is sniffing. If you recognise your Torchlight here, I'm not surprised, because everything in Torchlight has BTS. 1 Vita, S2, AVA 5. So AVA 5 in next wave. Courage, okay, fine. Dodge plus 3. Really? Really, CB? Dodge plus 3? That's the thing we're going to do? Okay. Okay, you want it? That's fine. And Combat Instinct. So Combat Instinct, before you scroll off to look for it, is they ignore Surprise Shot. That is that's a fairly potent light infantry profile. Let's be honest. It's not like world ending by any stretch of the imagination, but it's potent. It's you know, depending on their price point. So combi rifle zapper, breaker pistol, not an ordinary pistol, breaker pistol, so it's hitting you on that BTS, is at 13. Now, I just want to get something in front of myself to make sure that I'm 100% right with this one. But, right, yeah. So, if I look at a Shazvasti Nock Troops, now we're going to go for the profile lines to start off with. 4-4 move, CC 14, so less CC, BS 11 same, 10 Fizz, 13 Whip, 1 Arm, 0 BTS, 1 Vita. They're immune to shock. They've got Shazvasti, which yes is definitely worth it, and they've got Stealth, which is definitely worth it. But a combi rifle with Zapper and ordinary pistol is 14 points. So these guys, with their Dodge 13 and their Combat Instinct, which is less situational than Immune Shock, and arguably Shazvasti, because that only comes into it really when you have scoring points and controlling an area, which yes is certain missions. In certain missions it's invaluable, but not in every. But that's one cheaper. This is not my happy face. And it's the same like with the heavy machine gun. It's 1 SWC, same as with the Harbinger on the Nox, it's 1 SWC, and 21 points for the Nox, as opposed to 20 points for the Harbinger. I know they have a system for scoring and pricing things up, but let's just look at the rest of the profiles we have here. So we've got an HMG, we've got a missile launcher, we've got an AP marksman rifle with Zapper and BS attack -3. We've got Comlic +1, so they can have reinforcements. If you want to play reinforcements, then you have the ability to have 5 troopers in your reinforcements group. Combi rifle Zapper, 15 points for that, and specialist operative. So this is a specialist as well. Yeah, Harbinger Hacker with hacking device, mine layer, EM mines, the Vulcan shotgun, and Zapper. 0.5 SWC, 18 points. A Whip 13 BTS 3 Hacker is not awful. Harbinger Mine Layer, Vulcan Shotgun Zapper Shock Mines for 14 points. Note the lack of SWC there. Normally, Mine Layers are 0.5 SWC. Not for these guys, baby. They just get their nice free shock mines to spaff across the board. Yeah, they're not infiltrating, I know it. But with the ubiquity, with the presence of so many airborne deployed troopers coming to the backfield, having a little guy there for 14 points, the same price, mind you, as a combi rifle wielding Nox trooper, can poop out a mine during deployment. That's good. That is really good. Forward Observer, AP armor piercing submachine gun, Zapper, +1 burst flash pulse, wild parrots as well, because of course, for 13 points. A 13-point specialist with AP SMG, Zapper, flash pulse +1 and wild parrots. Wow. 15 points for the paramedic. That's fine. That's fine. The +3 on the dodge is just definitely worth it. And a lieutenant, a 13-point whip 13 lieutenant with dodging on a 13. It's good. It's good, you know. That's so many options. I know you've only got AVA 5 in here only, but if you bring if you bring in your lieutenant, which for 13 points you probably are. I mean, we'll have to see what other lieutenant options are in there, but a 13-point victim lieutenant that you hide behind a box on top of a building and hope he doesn't die is neither here nor there, especially because you can then build an offensive link here, assuming these guys are going to be linkable. Heavy machine gun, AP marksman rifle, Vulcan shotgun, you know, with the mine layer and the AP submachine gun if you wanted that little fire team. Suddenly it's BS 12 because you've got a 4 matched fire team in there, which is, excuse me, which is great. But then you can do an ARO bomb one with the missile launcher, the AP marksman rifle if you so see fit, or you can just take the hacker, the forward observer, the paramedic, slap that in there, probably with the AP marksman rifle, and send that upfield as a specialist bomb. That is an incredibly versatile unit. That can do a lot of stuff and not a lot of points. Because we know that in next wave, we know that Achilles is going to appear in here. We know that he's going to turn up, and there's going to be all kinds of weird and wonderful stuff that's going to be in this sectorial. These guys are a really solid start. You know, we're assuming that you're also going to have the other standard units that come with combined armies, so you're going to get the cheap order generators in there as well. But this is a core fire team, specialist work, whatever. That's pretty pokey, because also you'd get +1. Dear Lord, you get +1 if you're in the 3-man fire team for dodging. So you'd actually be dodging on 14s. Yeah, try and kill these damn things. You can't surprise shot them because combat instinct says no. Yeah. I mean, hello Joe. Don't get your eyes. Stop getting your eyes stabbed. Don't do that. But these are, again, if you've watched any of my stuff on the new N5, these are an and unit. They've got stuff and stuff and stuff and stuff and stuff and stuff. Very, very N5, and I think this is the direction that we can expect everything to go, because it's the direction we're seeing everything go. This smells very much like Shinden Mutai. It smells very much like Kestrel, which is cool. It's cool that we're going to have very N5 type things, but it does make me feel that other armies, older armies, legacy armies are going to struggle more because they don't get that kind of, oh yeah, you've got the mine layer on the, 14-point munchkin with the shotgun and the zapper, because you just don't get that with the older legacy armies. So, but very cool. Next wave is looking tasty. Then we got the K2 Auxiliaries. We get the appearance of these particular guys. The design leaves me a bit cold. I'm a little bit indifferent to that, to be honest with you. Especially when you look at their job. So that's their profile. If you've not seen these guys before. Steel Phalanx and generic. So they're heavy infantry, 4/4 moves, CC 18, BS 11, but you're not really going to use that. Phys 12, Whip 13, Arm 2, BTS 3, 1 structure. With no wounding cap. Not shock immune, but then they're on structure, so that doesn't matter. They don't need to be. Then you have 3 FTO options, the 3 that can go into fire teams. One with an EMRAT, Flash Pulse +1, Breaker Pistol +1, Para CC, or Flash Pulse +1, Mine Dispenser Cyber Mines, Breaker Pistol +1, or Flash Pulse +1, Mine Dispenser Para, so paralysis, locking people down, sticking them in place, Breaker Pistol +1. 11, 12, 12 points, 0 SWC. They are dirt cheap 2 wound munchkins. Or you get the parachutist, super jump, jet propulsion, EMRAT, Flash Pulse +1. They're aside from that breaker pistol, they're non-lethal, pretty much. Which is fine. But it leads to the question, why? Well, how do they fit in there? And then you look at their fire teams. So these are your cheap padding. They are getting you up to your Harris. It's a munchkin you can stick around the corner and use the EM weaponry to immobilize stuff or to flash pulse something and not really care about it. If it dies, it's 11 points. Your Mackie, your Hoplite, Sylar, your Thuroktai or whatever is still going. It's still fine because you sent that Muppet around the corner first. They are just cheap padding to keep your heavier stuff inside of Steel Phalanx going. Which, there's no doubt that it needed it, so. Stabbed by a flash of light as sung by Simon and Garfunkel. Clearly, yes, I spare one here. That's exactly what it is. So yeah, they're padding units to provide cheap stuff, cheap orders for Steel Phalanx. AVA 1 and Vanilla, I don't actually know what they are in Steel Phalanx, what their availability is there. Should we have a look? It's always fun to find out. Adventures with me using my phone. Welcome. So, K2 Auxiliaries, yeah, availability 1. So you're only going to take one of these, you're only going to use one of these, but it's just a cheap bit of padding to stick into what is otherwise quite an expensive sectorial. Okay. Would have been nice if it could kill someone reliably, decent range, but not today. Then we had the Guifang Spec Ops. This for me is a big one. So, if you don't know about this stuff, back in N2, way back in the day, we had the Campaign Paradiso book, which I should have had with me, but I don't. So I'm just going to go and grab that because I'm a professional at all points. So let's just come back over here a second and switch that. Campaign Paradiso. You didn't see this is an N2 book. Now the important things about Campaign Paradiso is, as the name implies, this is a campaign book. This isn't like a normal combat, normal sort of expansion to the game. You have stuff like this. Let's get this in shot. So this is a campaign play guide of how you run a narrative campaign for multiple armies. And we have like here, you generate experience. There's way more RPG elements in here. And the idea is that you build a narrative that your players play, they develop their troopers, they build their story, they build their narrative, they take those spec ops, which the Guifang is one of, and they become, you give them additional, you spend experience points that you generate from your mission to give them extra ballistic skill, to give them extra armor, to give them another weapon, to give them more whip, all this kind of stuff. So they become you. Where are we here? Yeah, so things that you can get. There we go. You have to spend experience points on the other side of the board there to get these things, and then it can get you extra stuff, more points on the board. If you spend 14 experience points, you get plus 15 army points. These things all add up. They all help. And it's where journalist, if you've seen the journalist skill, that comes into this because that has impact on what you do. So that's what this was. And the big thing that this board was the Spec Ops Troopers, was your Guifang Spec Ops. Is this an indication that Corvus Belli is going to be returning to the narrative, fluffy, chained, tournament style of play? I think so. I think that's what we're seeing here. It's kind of a mission statement, if you will, that what's coming up is a return to that kind of narrative play, operations play, and I'm here for it. It's another way to play Infinity, and I think that's a good thing. I think that's a great thing for the system, for the players, for everyone. So yeah, I think it's cool that we're going to see those again. If it's going to bring out a whole new set of Spec Ops, awesome sauce. Definitely here for it. I'll be interested to see their narrative kind of missions and how that works. I'm actually working on something for my local community for the start of next year to build a chained narrative campaign over 6 or 7 months. I have big plans. It's coming together nicely, but anyway. So if they're going to bring out a sort of structure that more players can use to do that, brilliant. Because it's just a different way to play. It's just a different way to play. So that's cool. But yeah, Guifang Spec Ops, we're getting a new one. Then we're getting the rebalancing of Combined Army, Military Orders and TAC. The update of the PDF, the N5 PDFs, which is good. Because that needs to happen. And yeah, just a general rebuffing of everything, which is just very much needed. Very much needed. Then we're going to get our sectorials. These guys are dropping after the new wave stuff drops. So soon. What's really interesting here is we've got Aconsumento, Verona and Caledonia. That says not in catalogue, they're out of catalogue. Neoterra and Merovision and Starco are not. Now Starco not being is fine, but Merovision and Neoterra not being out of catalogue. Now we do have elements of those in reinforcements, but we're missing key units. We're missing key, for Merovision we're missing metros, all of the metros. Luke Guru, they're not in there. There's a whole load of stuff that Merovision needs, but interestingly, one thing that they did always have was the tag that just got redone. Of course, Anaconda. The Anaconda was Mirror Vision. The Anaconda's just been redone. We've got Mirror Vision units in the reinforcements box. And it's not marking them as out of catalogue. Are we about to see Neoterra and Mirror Vision getting a reboot of some description model-wise? That would be really bad for my wallet. But, you know, I'm here for it. I'm game. I've been hurt before, but I can live with it. We can do it. And last thing I'm going to point out, kudos to one of my locals who pointed this one out. This was a discussion that happened between the guy whose name's chopped off on the left. So thank you, Brave Warrior, and also to the guy that took the photos at the event. I have no idea who they are. I couldn't find out. I had a look. But we know that Vanilla Combined Army is getting rebalanced because its win rate's too high, which is really, really interesting. And TAC and MO are too low. So expect to see TAC and military orders. So Ariadne's TAC and Pano's military orders come back up. And Vanilla Combined Army get a bit of a kicking, which some people feel is right. You know, I think that it will be good to see. I mean, TAC won an event this last weekend. I can't remember where, but they won that, which is cool. Military Orders is doing well in my local meta, but that's anecdotal. That's not the same as they're doing well. So they're going to rebalance it. Let's bring it in. Let's see what happens. And that was what we got out of Freak Wars this year. So that was quite a lot, actually. That was quite a lot of stuff. The initial appearance of you munching on stuff. In gear. Good evening. You get one of those again. The first appearance of stuff for Next Wave is really funky. I think that's good. It looks interesting. Larkbeard, I've just seen you over on Twitch. It's lagging on phone. Technology, you gotta love it. Anyway, but yeah, I think that Next Wave is looking interesting as a faction. Very N5, and I think that's good. Bring them in line. I still don't think that it's overly great, if I'm honest, that the only alien faction that we have remaining in the game is getting a bunch of humans in it. I get why fluff, but it doesn't really necessarily inspire me, to be honest with you. But we shall see. We shall see. We shall see how the models look when they drop. You know, it could be that they have an absolutely epic tag or whatever. You never know. We'll have to see. But so far, those profiles are looking interesting. We'll have to see how the fire teams are composed, all this kind of stuff, and what that brings with it. So yeah. So that was that. That was actually that. What do you guys think about those announcements? What are your thoughts on the first Next Wave stuff? What are your thoughts on Hydra? Is called Human Sphere. I know it's called Human, but they're not supposed to be part of the Human Sphere, are they? They invaded it. Combined Army, by definition, are the bad guy. Well, not the bad guys. The invaders, the non-human stuff. Not supposed to be all cuddles and anyway. So disappointing. So disappointing. We need more humans. Yeah, that we do. There are certain circumstances where we just don't, and that's one of them. That is definitely one of them. Anyway, and what do you guys think about Infinity as a narrative type game? Is that something that's good or something that's bad? Yes, I know you play monkeys. Do you think narrative play is a good thing for Infinity, or you just want to play casual and competitive? How do you feel about that? Because I'm kind of here for it. It was interesting back in the day. I didn't do enough of it, and I regret not doing enough of it. So, you know. Ooh. We shall see. If it's a return to these days, there won't be a full return because there's not going to be Toha in it, is there? Disappointing. But yeah, I think at some point, and one day, look at that. I love that. I randomly open a page, and that's the old school guy thing there. That's what he looked like. Back when JSA were inside of Yuqing. It's a blast from the past, people. Old school. Has to be done. Anyway, stop getting lost. The old books are very, very awesome. They smell funny, but they are very, very awesome. And they have very interesting stuff in them. So I think at some point I want to do like an N2 battle report. I think that'd be hilarious. My F5GS has run narrative campaigns every season. Lots of fun. Yeah. The Year of Tohar. Oh, Lartbeard. Sausage. I think that artichoke is thoroughly cooked at this point. I suppose for this community, yeah, our community, I get the impression you could throw a slightly mouldy sausage with a Infinity brand stamped into the middle of our group sometimes, and it would get an enthusiastic response and lots of people vying for its attention. So I'd be here for narrative, considering there's almost none. It's really interesting that there was a question recently about how, this was to, I can't remember if it's content creators or walkers, one or the other, we were asked what we thought about the narrative and how that was expressed and positioned for Infinity. And it's just, it's really interesting because they have a very clear vision about their world and they understand it really well. And I feel that it's like teaching people to play the game. They're both in the same basket. They have a very clear vision and no freaking clue how to do it. They're very poor at communicating it. That said, the 23rd of this month, so 6 days ago, we had the release of the latest Infinity novel. Do you guys read those things? Have you read that? I have a copy of it. I'm partway through. But have you read those? Because there's 4 or 5 now, maybe more. I can't remember. So that's kind of useful from a narrative perspective. Do you read these books? Because they all have, like, even going back here into NA2, we have lots of fluff. I don't know, but they're not, like, here we have missions and stuff. Lore. Oh, wow, look. Old school missions. Hello, beautiful. Anyway, do you read those? Do you read through the books? Or do you just not? Reading is hard, give me reels. You're such a child, Robin. What resources are out there to learn more about the narrative? Oof. Well, you've got Warlore, who did a whole set of videos. I'm doing bits on each faction as we do our faction focuses, so there's bits of lore in there. There have been some people who've done epic videos about it, but... So, I've probably told you this one already. But, like... So I write fiction as well, and I want to write some stuff. Oh, the book's on Audible. I don't know if they are, actually. I've got an interview. So I'm supposed to interview the writer of the latest book last week before last. It didn't happen because my little one got sick, so I couldn't do it. But I'll ask. I don't know whether they are. There's all kinds of questions around it because it's from a small publishing house. Anywho, so I'm a writer. I write stuff, and I want to write fiction for the Infinity universe, and I have certain ideas. There's a short story I'd write about a thing and the place and the stuff, and then there's this whole novel that I have in my head that I want to write. That's kind of stop me if I've told you this one, but it's kind of that. I almost want to do a Cold War era thriller type story about a speculo killer infiltrating the human sphere, getting towards the heart of the human sphere, and kind of build this story of intrigue and like espionage and counter-espionage and all this kind of stuff. I kind of want to write that. But it's difficult. I think there's stories to be told and there's ways to tell them, and my initial thought was that I would write the short story that I have in my head and then record it for this channel and put it out there, and that's kind of what I was thinking about doing. But that's very time intensive to do. Sorry, lots of great lore YouTubers. Warlore is one of my favourite wargame lore YouTubers. Yeah, Warlore is an absolute legend, little stinker. I have had some interactions with him, messaging back and forth. He's also an incredibly kind and generous human being. So yeah, it is available on Audible, is it, Chris? That's good to know. Yeah, I thought so. I wanted to do. The thing is, there's a lot of the way that, because of the history of Infinity and where it comes from, its inspirations, there's a lot of kind of high action, high octane kind of, you know, slicey, choppy, bikey, shooty type stuff out there. But when you look at the things that the Shazvasti, the way they operate, is very clandestine. It's very quiet in the shadows. And I kind of wanted to tell a story about, almost think of, this show your age now, but that kind of Day of the Jackal type thing. You have that individual that is on their way to achieve a thing. They're there for a purpose. And then you have your good guy who's there to stop them, but doesn't really know what they're doing or how they're doing it, or even who they really are. And that kind of tension that we can build around that, I think, is really interesting. And it gives us an opportunity to show the way that things like O12 works, because that would be the route that we'd take, and the way that the universe is held together. So I kind of wanted to tell that story, and the short story that I have is around an Aleph data store in orbit in the middle of nowhere. That's what that's about. I want to do a very, very small claustrophobic story about two people, two engineers working on a data store in the middle of nowhere. Robin, always a pleasure. Sleep well, buddy. You take care, my friend, and I will invariably catch you tomorrow. Get some rest. Okay, thanks. Bye. Bye-bye. So, yeah, I think that there's ways for stories to be told, and I think what would be really... we need to... I kind of want to put those kind of stories out there to progress the narrative, but there's whether there is interest in it, whether people want it, and whether it's worth time and investment, because there's a lot of time and energy. So, I don't know. I've still got it kicking around in my head, because there's lots of other stories that I have that I could tell there, but how should they communicate the lore? Should they communicate this stuff? You know, they're trying to work on a TV show. We're not there yet. That's on the way. In fact, I discovered this bad boy earlier. It's Paradise Lost is coming at some point. This is one of the characters from it. Which is kind of funky. But, so that's coming at some point. But how would you like them to communicate it? How would you like to hear the lore and the world of Infinity brought to life and put in front of you? What would be your route? So, because I've given it lots of thought. I think there's different ways they could go, and I don't think they get it right at the moment, but what do you guys think? But let me know in the comments. Because to be honest with you, actually I think Robin's probably got the right idea. It's a little bit shorter tonight than usual, but yeah, I've got a lot of stuff to do. There's a new, so members, you guys have got the next Warcrow video that's dropped for you now. That's on YouTube and on Patreon, whichever place you're at, it's there. So you can dive on that one and pick that up and watch that now. Non-members can catch that tomorrow morning. I'm actually trying a different launch schedule for content. So that will be out on YouTube for Warcrow tomorrow morning. You can catch that there. I've got another video coming later on this week, and then we're working on this project over here quite extensively. I need to get some of the Warcrow painted as well, so that we can get some videos done of that stuff. I'd love comics that are easy, quick reads that can sell the cool factor and aesthetic of the universe. Yeah, they did graphic novels. They were quite heavy and intense. This series of books, 50+ sequels long. You know, if I'm writing them, I'm happy. I think that's a very good idea, little stinker. I think that's something I should definitely do. 50+ minimum. You know, I can probably do... I probably do 6 a year. That'll keep me going till I snuff it. So I'm kind of good with that. Actually, no, it's only like 10, 12 years. Like I will outlive that series if I go at that rate, probably. Yeah, I don't know. They just need to. It's things like when you look at the way that Malifaux communicates it. Have a subscription with all the lorries in one place. Yeah, I hear you, Chris. They need to monetize that in some way because there's a little work to be done there. But like Malifaux, they have their story, and they push that out on a regular basis. You can read fiction on their website, and the narrative develops and goes along. You get it on email as well, so you get these short stories and these little snippets as well as the overarching one that comes with the big release books when they happen. So, I mean, that might be a model to look at. That could be something that would work. But yeah, it's how to communicate it in a way that's meaningful and that's profitable for them. Because you've got to be realistic. If you're going to, as a writer, you should pay your writers. You should do. So yeah, how do you make that work? It bears thought. It bears more thought. Anywho, but I think I'm actually going to knock it on the head for tonight because I am quite tired, to be honest with you, and there's more stuff to come for you guys this week, and I'm spending all of tomorrow on stuff for you. So that's kind of cool. I've got a great idea. Hopefully, for a competition, a giveaway for the channel later this month. We'll see how it goes. Look out for that. Oh, hang on. Little stinker. GW's codices battle tomes are really great for progressing narrative for specific factions without relying on big edition bookend. Yeah, I agree with you, but I don't want little stinker. I agree with you that GW does that very well, but I really don't want codices from coming from CB. I don't like that. That would be a no. So I don't know how they do it, but that's a no from me. We shall see. We shall see. Anywho, on that note, I am going to bail. I am going to thank you all very much for joining me, and quite a random bouncy around all over the place type evening. It was good to catch you all. Thank you for coming along. I'll be back next week, and we'll do more stuff. I don't think next week. Yeah, a couple of weeks' time is probably when that giveaway will kick off. But look forward to that. I hope you all have a great week. I hope you have a lot of fun. And if you are a member, if you haven't become a member on YouTube or on Patreon, don't forget to join on the Discord. Jump over there and say hi. And if you're not a member, consider being so, because it helps me do more of this and keeps me going for longer and all that kind of stuff. Just lets me, as I've said a million times before, I'm self-employed, so money has to come from somewhere, and you guys, members and patrons, are supporting me to spend the time that I can on this. So if you want more of this, that's the way to get it. But thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you have a great week. I will see you all soon, and yeah, take care of yourselves. Happy hobbying.